path or path. Now, sometimes, then they always believe women are supposed to be at the other room or be the housewife or even have a job or be an entrepreneur. It has to be something that would make it. Trust me, will have you developing a career path that is very strong, yes, and still being able to do every other thing and balance it up. And of course, yes, we'll be having an amazing guest. Like I said, I will not unveil the guest yet until just after this tip. And of course, we'll be having a breaker, and right after that breaker, we'll be having a tip on career advancement, because we're talking about career. So yes, we have to make sure that you are ready to advance your career. Now, this is for those who really do not want to be where they are. You don't want to be at your comfort zone. You want to take it a step further, you want to just keep moving further. Here, this program and this particular topic actually is for you. So let's quickly go for a tip on advancement, and when we come back, I'll be my guest, and of course we'll get to hear her success story. She'll get to teach us how to build a long career path as a woman. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Tips on career advancement. Determining your career goals. Before you work towards career advancement, it will be important to know what type of career advancement aligns with your wants and needs. You can make sure you're working towards an end state that fits your desired lifestyle. In determining your career goals, you can create guideposts for yourself as you work towards progress. Keep in mind that career goals, like most goals, tend to be cyclical. In achieving one goal, you may come to recognize a new goal. Remember to keep checking in with yourself as you reach new milestone. Planning your career advancement. Once you have clarity on your goals, you will be more prepared to map your path towards achieving them. In this stage of your career advancement journey, you may find it helpful to compare your current state to your ideal future state. Read job listings for positions or companies you'd like to work for, and talk to people currently doing the work you hope to do. Take note of your current skill gaps or discrepancies, as these will likely be areas that you can focus on building and resourcing to prepare for the upcoming growth stage. Working towards career growth. This next stage is when you really start engaging with your goals and working in a way that demonstrates your preparedness to advance. As you work towards growth, you may expand and hone your skill, earn a new credential, take on a project, or seek networking opportunities. Depending on your goal and your relationship with your current manager, this may be a good time to talk about your desire for advancement. Knowing what you're working towards, your manager may help you find growth opportunities within your current role scope, or offer advice on what you can do to qualify for advancement within your company or field. Pursuing advancement opportunities. Oftentimes, it's not enough to work towards growth. You need to ask for results to achieve. Actively pursuing advancement opportunities signals to the people with the power to make decisions about your career progress that you're interested and ready to move into the next phase of your career. Whether you're demonstrating your preparedness to your manager, another department lead, or hiring manager, you will likely need to seek out and offer proof of your growth and effectiveness before you are given any opportunities. During this time, keep an eye on internal and external job openings, apply for jobs, stay in touch with key contacts, maintain an resume and cover letter, and prepare for interviews. Overcoming growth obstacles. Career advancement takes time and effort, and progress isn't all linear. Since certain aspects of your advancement aren't entirely in your control, you may need to overcome some obstacles or shift your plans along the way. During these times, you may want to seek additional sources of motivation guided by self-improvement or an expert, such as a mentor, career coach, or career counselor. Find a mentor. A mentor is someone who has a profound knowledge about your field and has successfully passed through all the stages of advancement in your career. It is preferable to select a mentor in your industry, but not compulsory. Choose a mentor who listens to you and provides the essential advice to you to advance your career.
All right, yes, you're welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner, and those are the tips to increase, of course, advance your career basically. That is to have the drive, the passion, and at the same time to be able to know what kind of advancement you want. Now, let's go over to introducing our guest for today. Now, we have Dr. Angel Adelaja. She is a developmental consultant. She's also the special advisor to the Ogun State Governor, and she's the founder of Fresh Direct Produce and Agro-Allied, also of AG Tech Company in Abuja, and an MIT Solver and a mentor. She's a lot more. That's why I told you, being an amazing person to teach us about how to, have a very strong career, because she as a woman has been able to develop herself to a certain stage and still even pushing further to become more. And while she'll be sharing a success story with us, can we have Dr. Angel Adelaja on the screen, please? Thank you. Hi, good morning, Dr. Angel.
Good morning.
You look amazing. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to first want you to first share your success story, how you became, because I know the last time you were on board with us to talk about, agriculture, basically what you do better. You were just the SSA to the governor, and now you are the special advisor to the governor. So definitely there's a lot of story to tell, even before getting to the SSA, because we know what it is. We know how all of these things, the and all of that. But first, can you share your story of how you became, how you dived into agriculture and you wanted it to be more of the tech, and then you were still able to balance it up with politics, being the SSA and still pushing further to become, the special advisor. So we really want to hear, please leave no details out, even the struggle, the challenge, the interesting part, the beautiful part. We want to hear all of it. Please go ahead.
So much. I think the first thing I just want to say is that a success story never ends. It doesn't have an ending until you die, and even when you die, the legacy that you leave continues to build your success story, the children that you leave, your grandchildren, so on and so forth. I say that because it's important to encourage other people that even if you don't feel like you're where you need to be or where you want to be, when you want to be there, right? Just know that it's never too late to start to course correct. It's never too late to start to put in the effort. It's never too late to start to build goals, set goals, and build towards goals to reach the success that you envision for yourself. So that's the first thing that I want to say. The second thing that I want to say is that success is not something that happens overnight. It is something that you build upon day by day. And so my story starts from childhood. And I think the number one thing that I can attribute to part of who makes me who I am and the benefits that I've had to be able to succeed are the foundational steps that my parents have put in me. So I've always been, you can call me a nerd. I've loved books. I love science. I love learning. And I think that I love creating. So my parents kind of instilled in me the love of learning, the love of my head, and that on its own is something I can achieve to that success that I've been seeing year in, year out. I think the other aspect that I will say is that once you have that hunger for knowledge and that love for learning, the other key thing is passion. So I would warn parent out there, please allow your children to find things they're passionate about. My parents allowed me to be passionate about so many things. And so even though I was in the sciences, I loved art. I paint. Even though I paint, I love music. Even though I love and I play the violin. Even though I play the violin, I love fashion. And all of those things could be true about you are an engineer, you are a doctor explorer. They can be excited and interested in so many things and go one, and focus on one thing and still have the opportunity to merge those things. In today's world, you are not just a doctor. You're a doctor with a specialty in specific areas. If you're a pioneer, you have found ways to merge other areas into medicine. So that's why you have neuroscientists who are surgeons who are also into tech, and they're looking at interface between biology and medicine. So you can be a pioneer. In my case, I feel like the foundations, not just of what my parents have done for me, but of my education. I studied biochemistry. I biochemistry, biology. I moved on in the tool set that I had was not just in the sciences, it was also biostatistics, statistical modeling and data. And so when I moved to Nigeria, my first job wasn't in the health field. It was in the investment banking sector. I worked in the research department of an investment banking firm specifically because I knew how to develop models. And they were interested in seeing how those models could be used for financial models. And it was a great experience for me. I think the other thing is that it taught me how to project manage. Getting a PhD in epidemiology is something that helped me to learn how to project manage, how to build large scale projects and research projects, how to manage, how to do survey methods, how to, budget and manage budgets and things like that. So those are things that we're able to use along the lines in the development space in general. And also my passion for science is what got me into agriculture. But I didn't see agriculture as a cultural or social thing. I saw it as a science that I could master, I could manipulate, I could, learn and build and grow and design. And that's what really took me into hydroponic farming. It was what fit me. And everybody has their story and their journey about agriculture and their experiences. Some people, it's education, they studied agriculture and they never ever touched it a day in their life. Some people, they invested in agriculture and they've been able to grow and scale. Some people, they found the love in agriculture and they stayed in it. Some people, their parents were in agriculture, and so it was something that was traditional for them. For me, it was something that I was drawn and attracted to based on the science of it all. And my work in the development space has been something that also made me want to then get into the policy aspect. So, of course, I've worked with the Osun State government in the Office of Economic Development and Partnership under Arabeshola, Governor Arabeshola at the time. I've worked at the National Poverty Eradication Program as well. So while these positions may be different, they all had an underlying theme, which was economic development, to be able to bring the poorest poor out and kind of raise the bar in terms of the kind of programs that would support economic development for the economically active poor and poor communities. So even in agriculture, that has been our strategy as well, is to ensure that agriculture is a means for economic development. Agriculture is a means for job creation. And so that has been beneficial. But I would say what has really helped me, has also been the mentorship that I've had along the way. Not being afraid to seek out mentors, not being afraid to work without thinking of the compensation as well. From a young age, I've done internships. I started interning from age 13 in research laboratories and in offices. So that work ethic of being able to work for someone and be diligent for someone and be excited for their dream and for their passion has also been helpful. I've worked in pharmaceutical companies. I have worked in university campuses. I have been a waitress. I have been a hostess for a restaurant. When people come in, they say, you sit them down. I have worked in home health care and taking care of people who are disabled. I have done so many things. And the truth of the matter is that in each of those things that you do, it is about the work ethic that you're able to build for yourself, number one. It's about being a team player. It's about learning management styles and being able to show that you can actually lead and you can actually do things independently. And taking into account the vision and the dream of those people that you work for. And I think in all of that, ultimately, being able to build solid relationships has been so supportive and so helpful, because what you'll find is that you are recommended for the next job based on how hard you work on the previous job. The best thing is to be able to go back to your previous employer and say, thank you so much for all that you've done for me. Thank you for even putting me up for this opportunity, or thank you for a wonderful letter of recommendation, or thank you for allowing me to explore this new opportunity, and I will always be available, to work with you whenever needed. Those are good relationships. And when you have those good relationships, you build a network. And that network is gold. It's more valuable than gold. So I think those are some of the things that have been helpful. And I think overall, God, I am a child of grace. There's so many opportunities that just kind of came where I just happened to be in the right place. And then the person that you meet may know your previous employer, or the person that you meet may have seen some of the work that you have done, or they were looking for a solution and you happen to have the solution. So that networking aspect and knowing what you do, knowing what you're good at, it helps people to seek you out, but it also helps people to see where you may fit into their agenda as well. And that's also very helpful. So yeah, that grace of God just putting you in the right place at the right time, God keeping you strong, and then God helping you. I think it's not easy as a woman, a mother, being a wife. It's not easy at all. You have to juggle things, but you focus on this right now. I'm not going to focus on that. When you have everything on the table, you must try your best to be good at everything. And the truth of the matter is that not everybody will be good at everything. Not everybody have, some people may choose not to have children. Some people may choose not to get married. Some people may choose they want to have children, get married, and focus on the home. But in what that you're doing, just know that you must put in your 100% in each of those. And then you also, for you to be able to put in your 100%, you must also be happy with yourself. I can't imagine myself being an amazing mother to my son if I'm not happy, and if I'm not proud of myself, and if I'm not feeling good about myself. So that self-love and having support people around you who tell you how amazing you are. Shout out to my family and my sister, my brothers, my friends, for being able to hype me up and remind me that you are doing a great job, you are fantastic. So those are the things I feel have been helpful for my success. Number one, building based on a foundation that starts from the home and continues into your education, into the work ethic that you build along the way. But then, of course, it's also the social network that you have, the friends and people that you have around you. You have to curate who you have around you. And, of course, ultimately, all of it is because of God's grace. It's really God's grace. So I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, I love this story, even though I'm still going to ask you how you dived into politics. And plus because, okay, let me just ask this now. Amazing story, first of all. Your success, oh Lord. When you said you even worked as an hostess, where you take people into the restaurant, I was like, oh really? And you worked at the old homes. I'm like, oh really? She did all that. So sometimes this success story, like you said, is the foundation and the ethics while you're working in some certain organization or company, those things that push you forward. And when you do something over time, it becomes a part and parcel of you, and it's not something that somebody or somewhere or one thing will just take it away from you. It's always there. So now that brings me to the question, because politics is a whole different ball for women. Like you said, it's even very difficult for a woman to have a career and still be able to balance the home front. Trust me. Now the question is, there's a different thing now. There's a career. There's a whole career before you already. But now you actually went into politics. So you're because trust me, in as much as politics is part of the career, I feel like politics is one thing.
Into politics. I don't think I actually went into politics. I will tell you that I wouldn't say I went into politics. I will be very, very clear that I guess people would see me as a technotician. Not necessarily a politician, not necessarily a technocrat, but a technotician. And I say that because when I've come into public sector, I've always entered public sector based on my technical capacity. My boss was able to my talent and bring me on board based on what I could do for Ogun State. But of course, there's a nexus between policy and programs and making sure that people have the good things that are needed for their betterment, and ensuring that the person in office is supportive of those things. So you must, if you are somebody who is in the technical space, even people in private sector, you have to support candidates and you have to support people who have a vision for private sector, who have a vision for education, who have a vision for agriculture, that is in line with what you see, right? And so, of course, I will always support my principal, Prince Dapo Abiodun, because he had a vision for agriculture that aligned with what I saw as well for Ogun State. His vision for agriculture was even above and beyond. And there's so many things that we have that are coming up for Ogun State when it comes to the special agro-processing zone, with what he's done with the agri-cargo airport, with what he's doing with a lot of private sector investment in the state and attracting major foreign direct investment into Ogun State. And of course, the support that we give to the farmer communities. But the only reason I've been able to have a wonderful experience, in the public sector is because I had a boss who had a vision that he could board the best and the brightest of talent. So, and I always promote that those people don't shy away from politics, in the sense you must always actively support candidates that you believe in. You must always actively get on the campaign trail. Make sure that people around you know that these are the reasons why you support this person. So if that's the case, then yes, I am a politician in that sense, because I will always support politicians, and I will always advocate for politicians who see agriculture as a priority, who see women and youth inclusion as a priority, who see making sure that economic development is for everyone, not just the rich. You have capitalism is beneficial to the masses, so it's like social capitalism. So those are the kind of things that I have always stood for, and so I will always support candidates who do that. I am a card member of the APC specifically because of that. So I'll say that I've never run for office, but I have always supported those in office to make sure that their policies are effective for the people at home. So,
okay, amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for clarifying that. Okay, now you mentioned something which I have an interest in, and that's the thing you said, because your principal principal person, who is the governor, has a lot for culture, and that you buy into that, and it's like you someone who has a more driving force, a more bigger picture, which of course you have too, part of it, and you are part of it. Now, I just want to ask, I know this is Lagos, but you're in Ogun State. What are those few things that you think are on board already for agriculture that you would like to share, just in case if women and men out there want to be part of it, want to, partake of it, or, benefit from it, so that they could actually learn?
Absolutely. I think based on the fact that we're talking about success, I think this is the right time for those who are interested in getting into agriculture on board. A lot of people used to complain that in the past they've had difficulty getting access to land, and we have started to streamline the process. We've started to make sure that it's easier for people to request for agricultural land. So if you are ready to farm, not to sit on the land, not to hold the land, but to actually start farming, there is agricultural land, and you can come to the Ministry of Agriculture to request for that. Above and beyond that, we have strengthened our extension support. So those people who help farmers, who train farmers to make sure that they are equipped to be able to be productive on the farm, we have increased and supported the extension officers to be able to do their job in the field. Then we also have programs that people can key into. We had a massive program with the Ogun State Forest program. We did ours differently from the way it was done before, and that's what made us so successful in the ABP. We had actually looked at other states, we had looked at private sector, and we looked at what are the characteristics that make this program successful. And part of that was strong partnership with the anchor, making sure that the anchor is a major partner and driver of this. The state is on board and fully there to supervise, to monitor, and the Farmer Association is also integral to the program. And we had a very successful run on maize, on cassava, on cotton. When there was default on cotton nationwide, Ogun State farmers were able to pay back and continue for another cycle. So we were thankful to CBN for those type of policies, and we hope that the CBN will continue to push development finance programs such as that for us to be able to leverage on. They can tweak it in different ways to make it more efficient, but we like to key into that. But we also had a lot of programs like the World Bank OG STEP program, which provided grants, not loans, to farmers, and in those grants, we were able to support a significant number of farmers to be able to get 50% of the cost of production from the state. So we were able to support them on, I think, 90% of the inputs, I think 10% of the labor, 50% of the inputs, 10% of the labor, 90% of the infrastructure, for farmers to be able to farm in clusters. So clusters of farmers could apply, and we saw major engagement in that program. And that program is still going on, and you can key in programs that come up. We can let you know in advance and apply. We have done fertilizer distribution, seed and input distribution. We have tractors that have come to the state, and we'll be doing the flag off of those tractors very soon. We have IFAD VCDP funding. We've done in the FADAMA programs, and a lot of things that they can key in. Very successful partnership with GIZ in making sure that farmers have access to agric finance. We've done agric finance workshops, which additional workshops will be coming up shortly. And anybody who is interested in partnering with Ogun State to bring development through agriculture, they can easily reach out to us. They can come to the Ministry of Agriculture. They can write to the Ministry of Agriculture, and we're always willing. Our doors are open, and we're ready to engage you so that you can set up your farms in Ogun State. People also know about mega projects that we have, which include the Agro-Cargo airport, which include irrigation projects that we've done for rice farmers. We partner with federal government a lot to attract a lot of opportunities to the state as well. And we partner with a lot of development partners too, to make sure that everything that's being done in Ogun State when it comes to agriculture is streamlined, it's organized. So we don't have piecemeal, and we don't have a situation where we don't know what other organizations are in our state. We're fully aware of what other parties are doing in the state. We're fully aware about how that is in. They always check in with us before. Program, and so we've seen a lot of people get program today. We do a lot, even want to bring young, want us to train them using your facility. There's also opportunities there as well. So
Thank you very much. Okay, so question, because that would interest me. Now, you said a lot of people who want to become farmers, there's a training for people who want to become farmers, and also there is the availability of getting a land for those who want to get a land. Now, is there any criteria, any requirement for you to be able to, acquire land, or to even partake of the training to become a farmer? Very quickly, in just 2 minutes, please.
So for the training, anyone can apply. A lot of the training that we have, they are shared, they're shared through the Ministry of Culture, can apply. We have specific programs for youth, and so the only requirement is that you must be a youth, and many times you must be resident on the site. So you must be available to stay on those sites, or you must be close to the site where we're training. In terms of access to land, you must be ready to start whatever it is you want to do. So if you're going to get agricultural land, you get an application form, you pay for the application form, you also make sure that you have like a business plan or a costing for what it is that you want to do. So if you want to plant cassava, you must know what you need to spend on cassava and show us that you have some understanding of what it will take to make that investment. That helps to reduce the time that it'll take from you getting the land to actually planting and being productive on site. And with all agricultural land, it is from the Ministry of Agriculture. It is leased to you, so it's year on year, and of course, the cost is very, very affordable. But you must know what you do, and within about 3 months, 3 to 6 months, you must have started planting on the land and doing something on that land. So we just ask that you get the application form, you apply, and you know what you want to do. And then they'll call you, they'll just kind of follow up with you to make sure that you're not just a land grabber or something like that. And of course, the process is for approval and making sure that the land is transferred over to you. But just, work with the ministry. They can give you advice on what to do. If you're not sure you're at the point where you have a business plan or feasibility study, etc., then you can work with ministry staff to also help you to build that as well. However, personal applications are different in cost from commercial applications. As for commercial applications, you must have a bigger business plan or feasibility study. But for smaller ones, you just need to be able to put the costings down of what it is you want to do. And the expectation is that if you're doing it as an individual, maybe you need 5 hectares, maybe you need 2 hectares, maybe you need 10 hectares. And of course, for corporates, they may need a little bit more, but it also is based on the commodity that you're doing. So if you're doing poultry or fish, you don't need as much land as if you're doing cassava. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Yes, another question popped in my head while you were talking. I was like, how about the security? Because we know what farmers sometimes go through in some different parts of the country when it comes to security. Are they well secured? But I don't know, we can't answer that, because trust me, by the time I ask you, Dr. Angel would expatiate and go deep and, everywhere. But if it's possible for you to do that in 1 minute, so that I do not we have very limited time. I'm supposed to be right now. So in just in 1 minute, can you just tell us how secure are these farmers when they eventually get the farm and start working on their farmlands?
Yeah, so security strategy is something that farmers need to also have. But the state has also done a lot to invest in security trust fund. But we also have a farmer herders peacekeeping committee, and we also have the anti-grazing bill. So farmers on the field, we ask that you take the necessary steps to make sure that your land is secure. Number one, let us know that you're planting. Let us know if there's any, let's say, herdsmen or so around you, and register, at your nearest police station and say, hey, I'm planting, these people should not come on my land, and of course, if anything does happen, please, feel free to and report it to the police station. Grazing farm is a criminal offense in Ogun State. There is a law against that, and so we ask that you exercise it. But you also have a peacekeeping committee. There are challenges, you can reach out to the peacekeeping committee. And we can also help to settle and resolve the disputes. We've done very well, myself in partnership with the SA Security and the SSA Interethnic, in going around different communities to try to get the Arewa community to also understand the plight of the farmer to also understand that this is livelihood of people. You cannot come and graze in their land. And we've seen a significant improvement from before in terms of this. We still have incidents and flare-ups here and there, but it seems to improve on a regular basis. And we also try to engage farm communities. Sometimes you're not a farmer alone. You're in an area where other farmers are there. And so we try to ask them to engage amongst themselves, to also set up a security plan for themselves. Make sure you have security on your farms, to just also alert you whenever there may be an intrusion into your farm. And that's easy then for you to be able to push them out and say, hey, please don't come here, but also keep a good relationship with the police. The governor has tasked the commissioner of police and all the police force in Ogun State to make sure that they are protecting the farmers and making sure that everybody in the state is protected. So you've seen an increase in security in the state, you see an increase in checkpoints, and even in the rural areas, you see the police are a bit more equipped than before to be able to meet the task. So I hope that it helps, and I will leave you to wrap up as well.
Yes, I will right now because I knew we're not just going to take 1 minute. I knew it was going to be like 2-3 minutes. Trust Dr. Angel. She wants to give you the full detail, but really, I really do appreciate always trying to get into detail so that everyone could understand. No misinterpretation, there's no misinformation, and you're getting the right information. But really, thank you so much for being on the show and educating us, and of course telling us that we can be farmers without even having to go through have to build the economy in Nigeria. And I really appreciate you for taking your time, despite your busy schedule, to be on the program to do with us. Thank you so much from all of us at Galaxy TV. We really love you and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Forward to your TV crew coming to have a farm settlement with us. We're looking forward to that. When you're ready, come and write us and we'll make sure that you guys are going. So
all right, and that's it from Dr. Angel Adaja. She did an amazing job telling us her success story and of course educating us and telling us what we need to know when it comes to farming. And for those who want to be a farmer, like you heard it all, if you've missed it, you can go to our YouTube page at Galaxy TV News and watch it all around. You can write them, you can visit them. The Minister of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture in Ogun State, according to what she said, they are doing so much more and about to do much more, and you should be part of it. You can actually be a farmer, not just a farmer, but a tech farmer, as she is, and even more. Anyways, we've come to the end of the show. We can take any other tip because trust me, I feel filled already. Probably I need to start considering to be a farmer because I have a lot of people in Ogun State. So yes, I could probably let's not do that. Let me not say it on air. Let's leave that. But please, you can be actually part of this drive. You can actually just do that. And if you do not get all the information, like I said, go to our YouTube page at Galaxy TV News and watch all over again to be an amazing tech farmer. So this is where I draw the curtain and say thank you very much all viewers for joining and listening. Of course, tomorrow will come your way again with so much interesting stories and of course success story and how to build yourself as a woman. But for now, I have to go because right after now we're having the news on the hour, and after that we'll be having the buzz where we'll talk about the state and the affairs of the country. You do not want to miss this because we have amazing story to tell, and of course